This podcast is supported by Music Theater of Wenatchee, celebrating 64 years of bringing stories to life. From show-stopping musicals to powerful plays, the Music Theater of Wenatchee stage is where stories come alive. Now they are writing the next chapter, and you can help make it happen. Thanks to the McKee Matching Funds campaign, every dollar you give is doubled, up to $50,000, towards MTW's Riverside Annex expansion project. To support the next act of community theater in Wenatchee, visit annex.mtow.org and donate today.
Opening night club.
We're not opening a nightclub.
It's the opening night club. We can't wait to watch an opening night show, because on opening night we always go with our opening night club. Opening night club.
Welcome to the Opening Night Club. This is the weekly podcast where we get together and discuss and celebrate opening night theater all over Central Washington. My name is Kevin McKee. I'm your host, and with me again is Man About Town and dilettante Skyler Cuthill. Hello, Skyler.
Good morning, Kevin.
How are you this week?
I am doing great. I am all pumped up to discuss theater with you.
We had a great week in theater. We had two big opening nights, and I'm excited to discuss them.
Makes me concerned about the future, Kevin. We all have such a bounty of opening nights right now, but wherefore will we be in November, right?
November might be easier. Right now I'm looking at September, and we don't have a lot of opening nights coming up there.
Okay, one thing at a time. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We'll figure it out. We'll somehow entertain you in September.
We'll figure it out. You're working on Shakespeare, Twelfth Night.
Yes, J.J. Hernandez, I shouldn't say it's his production, although he is kind of the spearhead on it. Third Job Theater's production of Twelfth Night. We are going to open on August 8th, which is this coming weekend at the Icicle Creek Center for the Arts. So it's finally happening. We've mentioned it every time, but this weekend, we're going. Whether we're ready or not, it's happening.
We've got Twelfth Night happening up there this next weekend, and all this last week, you were also at ICCA teaching kids about theater.
Yes, it's very funny to think about me and my icy standoffish demeanor, but I was in there with 22 kids learning about theater, ages 9 through 14, so kind of a difficult age, and I was in there. J.J. Hernandez has a degree in this from Central, right? So he knows all about the improv games and putting together an agenda and so on and so forth, and we had the kids learn about theater and get scripts, and then they put on presentations, and it was actually very cute. They made, the set pieces from cardboard, and they got access to the ICCA theater attic, right? So they had all the costumes. And it was funny because a lot of the costumes were costumes that were from Pride and Prejudice, which I was in 2023. So one of the kids had my dress. And I got kind of upset because he was a 14-year-old boy, so he didn't treat it super respectfully. And I was like, that's my dress.
You think you're going to be wearing that dress again?
I don't know. It fit me pretty well. That was the dress I seduced Christopher Puckett in. That dress is kind of special to me. I was surprised. I hadn't anticipated feeling those emotions. But I did. By God, but I did.
Watching a teenage boy wearing your dress.
Wearing it disrespectfully.
Yeah.
Not appreciating it for the wonderful costume piece that it was.
It's a sentence I don't think I ever thought I would say.
That's part of life, is being surprised by your own emotional reactions to things. And that's how you learn and grow. But I'm kind of awkward around children. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm not a dad. I don't have a family. And my touchstone memory for that kind of thing is always that in 2022, when you were directing The Sound of Music, you cast me as the Captain Von Trapp understudy. And there's a part towards the end of the show, at the end of So Long Farewell, where Captain Von Trapp hoists up Gretel. At Leavenworth Summer Theater, they have it where the actual primaries do it, 9 times, and then at the very end of the rehearsal schedule, the understudies do it. So the primaries do it for 50 minutes, and then the understudies do it for 10. So at the very end, it was my time to hoist up Gretel. The understudies came on, and I was like, oh my God. It just occurred to me that I have no idea how you pick up a kid, because I've never done it before. It just has never come up in my life.
And you had to pick up Gretel.
I had to pick up Gretel, and on the spot, I went for it, and I was like, wait. I haven't picked up kids, but I picked up kids, So I grabbed her like you grab a goat, and I hoisted her up, and it was either you or Briar stop the rehearsal. Like, actually, we yelled, stop! What are you doing? What are you doing? And I was like, this is how you pick up a kid, right? And we're like, no! We had to figure it out and like reverse engineer it to show that I had done it very wrongly. You don't know this stuff naturally, right?
It's 2 legs versus 4 legs, Skyler. There is a difference.
But it worked by hook or by crook. I got her up there, right?
You can have Captain pick her up in a fireman carry, throw her over his back.
That's how you're supposed to carry adult goats. Is, you know, the set of legs on each side, right? That's how you carry, because like the goats don't want to be carried.
But that's not how Gretel should be carried.
No. If the Liesel and Rolf scene escalated more, maybe you would carry Liesel off in that manner.
Ooh,
right?
That's a good one.
Yeah, now there's a thought for you.
Yeah, that might be your $1 million idea this week.
That Captain Mousetrap bursts in on 16 going on 17.
Yes, and carries her away before.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
That would create a lot more dramatic impetus for her going into Favorite Things. You know, she'd be a lot more upset and flustered.
Yeah.
Her dad has picked her up like a goat.
Yeah.
In front of the boy she likes.
Well, that was all over the place. Okay, let's start discussing theater because we've got a couple big shows.
Yes, we have a lot to discuss here.
Yes.
So we should get to it.
Okay. So, I am going to be completely transparent on this one and say I was not actually at either opening night this week. I know.
Oh my gosh.
We had a vacation scheduled and actually other theater. So this last week I wasn't able to be there. And then Friday night we saw Anne Juliet at the Paramount, which honestly is a very good show. It was a lot of fun.
It's funny that you saw that because we just saw High School Musical, where the bit is that they're producing Juliet and Romeo.
Yes.
Right, which is a Juliet-focused version of Romeo and Juliet.
It all comes together.
And Anne Juliet is like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the concept?
No, Anne Juliet was actually post Romeo and Juliet.
Oh.
Yeah, William Shakespeare's doing Romeo and Juliet, and his wife, Anne Hathaway, shows up and says she doesn't like the ending. She doesn't know why a strong woman would kill herself just because a man killed himself.
The girl from Princess Diaries?
Anne Hathaway is actually William Shakespeare's wife. So Anne, Shakespeare's wife, steals his quill and changes the ending so that Juliet does not kill herself.
The magic quill.
The magic quill, and that starts the show. So Romeo and Juliet is now prologue to Anne Juliet.
Oh, they made it longer. Oh no.
Well, they didn't. They don't really go into Romeo and Juliet because we all know what happened in Romeo and Juliet, and it's referenced a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing is that all of the songs were written by Max Martin, who apparently has written more number one songs than anybody. He wrote everything that Katy Perry has sung that you know.
Oh my gosh.
He wrote Britney Spears. He wrote songs for Pink and the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
The man who wrote Party in the USA.
I think he did.
Wow.
Yeah. Most of the bits were they would be doing this Anne Juliet, and it's very funny, but it's really just setups to get the song in. Anne writes it so that Juliet and her two besties go off to Paris. She finds another guy who falls in love with her and asks her to marry him. But she's saying, no, I don't want this to get too serious. And he's like, please, I'm in love with you. And the lights change. She turns to the audience and says, oops, I did it again.
Oh, God.
Yeah. No,
God.
But of course the audience loves it. At some point, her new boyfriend and they all get together and they form a little boy band and they do NSYNC songs.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It sounds like the Lizzie McGuire movie.
It could be there.
But Shakespeare fan fiction.
It is Shakespeare fan fiction.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
and you liked it.
I really did. They sold it. I think that it's all songs you know, so it makes it easy. I don't know how memorable it's going to be. I don't know if in a year I'm going to say, oh, I wish I could see that again.
Not every show has to be Schindler's List or whatever.
No.
It's fine to just be entertained.
Yeah,
that's okay.
It's not going to win any Pulitzers. But
yeah.
No, it was a lot of fun.
Well, good. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. So you weren't at either of the opening nights then?
So I wasn't but I did see both of them.
Good.
Yeah, I went to a late rehearsal for LST's Little Mermaid, and then last night I went to Dirty Rotten Scoundrels on the second performance.
Great. So you were pretty close.
I was pretty close.
Darn close.
Yeah, luckily Christy and Casey Craig were able to get me in up at the Festhall.
Our very prestigious host, right?
Yes.
Just had to drop the name of the opening nightclub, and they went, "Oh, snap. This way, monsieur."
Yes. No, yes. So anyhow, LST's Little Mermaid. Now, I saw this one before it opened, but it was sharp. Casey's put together an amazing show. I really, really loved the actors in this show. I realized that we've got about half of them were in other shows, and half of them are only in Little Mermaid, and they showed up because they were all doing Bye Bye Birdie at the Fifth.
Yeah, they were from Casey Craig's kind of home theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were so sharp. The dancing was sharp, the songs were sharp, and the comedy was sharp.
Ton of energy.
There was a lot
Huge energy.
There was a lot of energy. Ariel, she was the Kim McAfee understudy for Bye Bye Birdie, and just a fantastic voice. Kayla Wendland, who was fantastic. I absolutely loved what she did. She was wearing a dress that mimicked a tail.
Yeah. She was probably like the closest to like what you think of.
Yes.
In terms of the cast. Because it was, we discussed it last week. It's like a concept production. It's Jimmy Buffett, Margaritaville. They all look like South Florida scumbags. You know, flip-flops and Hawaiian shirts. They all look...
They did not look like scumbags. No, they looked very casual. If you're going expecting it to look like the cartoon, it will not look like the cartoon.
Yeah, so it's tough, right? Because The Little Mermaid, it was animated, so we all know what it's supposed to look like, but you just cannot do that. You can kind of approximate it on Broadway with their budgets and whatnot, but, out here in our regional theaters, you just can't do it. And I'm a big fan of driving around the problem, not just driving into it and going, what do you expect? So I do respect Casey for having an idea and trying to address it in a creative way rather than just going, what can we do?
Well, the biggest problem with those costume shows, and you see it sometimes with Beauty and the Beast, and you definitely see it with Little Mermaid, is that you don't have people acting. They're just trying to move around in a costume. The costume becomes, that's your limitation on how much you can act, because the costume, you're half puppet at that point.
The woman in the chest of drawers in Beauty and the Beast, right?
Yes. Yeah, you can't move. The dancing is very restricted. And I think what we saw here is everyone knows The Little Mermaid. Actually, if you don't know The Little Mermaid, this might be confusing. But we're going to assume everybody knows The Little Mermaid. And so they kind of just went with it so that Sebastian, we all know he's a crab, but he's dressed as a lifeguard in red shorts and a red hat.
Yeah, so he still makes the jokes about being a crab.
Yes.
But he is not dressed as a crab. We just all know from extra textual knowledge that he is a crab.
Yes. And Scuttle, we know that he's a bird.
Scuttle was pretty close, too. Scuttle and Ariel were, like, the closest to, like, what you, quote, expect, unquote.
Yeah.
Probably, Flotsam and Jetsam were the furthest away.
But I love Flotsam and Jetsam. They look like they were from an 80s. They were 80s punks.
Yeah, they were like the thugs, right, in an 80s film.
Yes. Very flamboyant thugs from an 80s film.
Yeah, they had the beautiful Sarah Lesty in lime. I don't know if the lime worked for her. But I respect the aesthetic.
But the wraparound mirrored sunglasses.
Yeah.
I really, really liked it. I thought that Ariel, Scuttle, Flounder were just standouts as far as actors.
Hold up. You're forgetting Kathy Bronson.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, Kathy Bronson's headline role as Chef Louis.
It was fantastic.
Incredible.
It was fantastic.
Incredible.
No, she went all in and really showed off Kathy's comedic chops. Honestly, they had drawn on her the stereotypical curly stash, snidely whiplash mustache, which nearly went up to her eyes.
Woman with a mustache. It's funny.
It's funny.
It's just funny.
It's funny.
It works.
But my favorite part was when she's saying something very sly, moves her hand up and twirls her mustache, but she twirls it where a mustache would normally be, which is nowhere near where the curly stash had been drawn on. That made me laugh.
I also wanted to mention Jared White as King Triton.
Oh, yes.
That was a great role for him.
It was a very good role.
That was wonderful. He was really, really good in it.
Yes. No, the whole thing... First off, they started with everybody looking like close to street clothes coming out and singing the opening number almost straight. And I was wondering, is this going to be these are the players, like we're going into Godspell or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
It kind of felt like that. And actually, Anne Juliet had the same thing where it's Shakespeare and the players, and now we're going to put on a show.
Mm-hmm.
And so it had a bit of that, but it didn't continue through the show. Everybody became their characters and pretty much stayed with them. They did have people swapping around.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary Hesse, who I think was just having a ball and was great in that role.
He was selling it, by gosh, but he was.
It was awesome. The dance numbers had a lot of energy. I loved what they were doing, and I loved what Casey was able to do with it, just because it is a difficult thing to come up with a concept on.
Yeah, yeah. And Little Mermaid is done so frequently.
Mm-hmm.
So people have seen it before. They've not just seen the film from 89. They've seen the production of it probably several times, right? So no, I respect it. It's taking it in a new direction, something that we recognize. It's like, it's ocean adjacent. The beach.
Yes.
It's literally ocean adjacent.
It is.
Yeah, and makes it much more approachable, right? Not having to teach them all to wear Heelys or whatever, or have anybody on a fly system. This works.
No, I was completely drawn in. I had a lot of fun. And I was really impressed with the actors that they had on stage. The ensemble was fantastic. And I told Christy this, and I should probably say it here. There's a lot of shows where I will watch and I will say, oh, I would love to direct this show, because there's so many things I see that I would love to do something with. That would be a lot of fun to go in and say, okay, this should happen this way, this should happen this way. This show, I didn't say that. This show, I wanted to be in the ensemble. I wanted to be 30 years younger and a lot more physically fit, because I wanted to be up there. I wanted to be with them doing this show just because it looked like they were having so much fun.
That's how I feel whenever I watch Cats.
I would love to be in Cats.
I'm always seized with such a spiritual melancholy whenever I watch Cats, and I know that the ship has passed me by. It's over.
You can't be Rum Tum Tugger?
I would not be Rum Tum Tugger. I would be the railway cat.
Oh,
Skimbleshanks.
Skimbleshanks,
My
I'm sorry.
spirit
Gus
calls
is the theater
out
cat.
for Skimbleshanks.
Oh.
The railway cat.
Yes.
It's Gus the theater cat.
Yeah.
Skimbleshanks. Yes. You have picked the wrong man to get your cats wrong with, sir. No. So yeah, no, I empathize with your feeling.
Yeah. Cats was my first Broadway album.
Really?
Yeah, I got the double album with every song.
And you listened to it over and over again?
I did.
Which is your favorite cat?
Jenny Anydots.
Really?
Actually, that's, yeah.
That teaches the cockroaches to dance.
Yes.
Wow.
No, that made a big impact in the movie. But that's my favorite song.
Okay, wonderful.
I have a favorite cat in mind.
Jenny Anydots.
That's
All right.
right.
Kevin, Jenny Anydots, McKee, and Skyler Skimbleshanks Cuthill. Allie Atwood told me a while ago that Cats was a really important part of her childhood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's tough because the movie was just panned. And so you've got a lot of young theater fans.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they know of Cats. And it's very cool to say, I hate Cats.
Yeah, it's like hating on clowns now or whatever. It's going under its own momentum, right? Even though Cats itself, the show is wonderful, right? But it's easy to make fun of. It's so musical theater-y, which is why I love it. But,
Well, and it is a concept show.
Yes.
It's not like there's any through line or it ends with a double wedding.
No, the cats don't all pair off. One of them goes to the Heaviside lair. But yeah, so you like The Little Mermaid.
I really did like The Little Mermaid. And honestly, I think if you want to see some really high-functioning actors, it's a great show to go see. I'd recommend it. It's going to be playing through the end of the summer.
Yeah. It's the show that closes first. You still have plenty of time to go and see it. And then I was at opening night for Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
That's right.
You went the day after.
Yes. And so this was at New America Performing Arts Center. It's a Jamie Donegan production, but he was not directing.
Yes, he's directed every other one, but this year it was Christina Capehart, who's been part of their company for a while now.
Yes. And it was part of Hot August Nights, which has been going on for 10. I'm sure I could find that out.
Over 10 years, because
Okay.
I remember that when Jamie started it, he said he would do
Rocky Horror.
He said he would do Rocky Horror every 10 years. And then like a couple of years ago, I like got hype about my Dr. Frankenfurter moment. And then it never came. So it's been over 10 years now. Jamie, you need to do it again. All right.
You want to be Frankenfurter?
Who else would I be?
You could be Brad. You could do all
Brad is
sorts
such a
of
nothing role. I don't want to be
Brad is a good role.
Oh, I mean, Riff Raff is a good role, but he sings really high.
Yes.
You know.
No, there's a lot of good roles.
No, that's every role in that show is good.
I was able to play Eddie and Dr. Scott.
See, now we're talking. If you can sing Eddie's song.
I couldn't, but I sang
It's
it
so
enough.
high.
It's really high.
Yeah.
I dropped a couple, not dropped, but I mean I moved down a few of the notes so that it was a little easier.
I bet that's really common.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was that was a fun one.
Dr. Scott's song though was so much fun in Act 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eddie's Teddy. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful number.
Yeah.
But no, so they've been going for a while. Yeah, Christina Capehart was Stacey Jacks last year in Rock of Ages, and she was Satan, the Satan character in Pippin, and she was in Hands on a Hard Body, which I want to say was 2019. So she's been with the company for a while now, and she directed this production of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. So Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, if you're not familiar, is a adaptation of the 1988 film starring Michael Caine and Steve Martin. It's a very funny movie, and very interestingly, it was directed by Frank Oz, who was Yoda.
Yeah.
Yes, and it also features...
Well, he was Yoda, but he was also Fozzie Bear.
Yes, he was a big part of The Muppet Show.
Yes.
And it also features the butler in the film was Ian McDiarmid, who played Emperor Palpatine in Return of the Jedi. So Yoda was like, who do I know? I know Emperor Palpatine. They do a great job. It's a good movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah, no, it's... Whenever you see Ian McDiarmid in a film, it's weird because you kind of half recognize him because the Emperor Palpatine makeup is so heavy.
Yes.
From Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
But your brain tells you that you know him, right? If you were like me and watched Return of the Jedi 1,000 times when you were a kid, you know.
So we went to this one. I saw this on Saturday. You saw this on Friday on opening night.
Yes.
And it was packed when I went there.
It was not sold out when I was there, but it was well sold. It was like 80% night.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. I thought it had wonderful, you were talking about the energy for Little Mermaid. This also had wonderful energy. It had a wonderful ensemble.
The ensemble was fantastic.
The concept of the show we just talked about, the movie, is that it's dueling con artists in the French Riviera.
Yeah.
So John Merritt is like the older, more established one, the English gentleman type, and Adam Eagle is the brash young American who is screwing everything up, right? And then they come together to try and outwit a woman who shows up, and then they become rivals, and it's a whole thing. But I really, really liked it. I thought it had great energy. I really liked the set. It had a really fun production. You know, it had a revolve, which is always great. You don't see revolves around here. We used to have a revolve up on the hill for Lumber Summer Theater, and then
That's right.
John Wagner tore it out in 2021. There were good reasons for it, but I do kind of miss it.
Yeah, putting a revolve together is a lot of work. I know they set this one and they were off by an inch, half an inch, and they had to reset it.
Oh,
yeah.
Those poor deers.
Yeah, no, the set was great. I love this script. I think it is so much fun, and there was a lot of very classic theater bits.
Yes.
We ended up with a comic couple and the serious couples and the dastardly villain. I think it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's maybe a little bit too long, but I thought the band was great. I really liked all the primaries. Adam Eagle was so broad. What I said to him after the show was he was as broad as you can be without actually being a cartoon. He was so physical, and I just loved it so much.
Wow. And his physicality.
Yes.
Like, the guy knows comedy, and he went all in. He was throwing himself around the stage, got down to wearing very little. And Adam's a hairy man.
Yes.
And
which is funny. It's funnier to be hairy.
It was very funny. And a guy that can use his body, that physicality, to just go there. No, he's very, very funny.
He spends a lot of the show in a wheelchair, and his wheelchair acting was just tremendous. You know, it was so sharp, right? The spins and so on and so forth. No, I thought I was very, very enthusiastic about it. Maddie Atwood also as one of the primaries.
Wow.
Yeah, Maddie.
She was so big.
She was huge.
Yeah.
No, it was great. It was
No, she went all over the place with that one, and I can't wait to do Shucked here in town because
you
I
keep
think
mentioning that.
she keeps. I love that. I'm waiting to see that show because it's kind of my jam. But that cowboy number that she was in. It was so much fun. She had so much energy, played it so big. I loved it.
That was like the spiritual peak of the show was the Maddie Atwood Oklahoma song into the Prince Rupert song. Because that's when you had Adam Eagle really throwing himself around. You know, you didn't have any pants on. He was mounting people. It was a lot. It was a lot.
He knocked somebody out of her chair in the show that I saw.
Oh, you mean like in the audience?
He went out into the audience and crawled into her lap, and they both fell off the chair.
Oh, no, Adam.
Yeah, no, it was a lot, and you could. There were several times where he was going up and confronting people in the front row. I guess be aware of that. If you have a seat in the front row of this show, you might have Adam Eagle in your lap at some point, but got some great reactions. Almost, if I had to time comic reactions, the audience members did it. It was great.
Sometimes that's a feature of Hot August Night shows, that there's a splash zone.
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember going to see Lacage, and they told me that I needed to sit in the front so that I could get some asses in my face.
Yes.
And I did.
Yeah, normally you don't want Ruprecht giving...
Yeah, it's different tone.
It's a different tone.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I know it. One of the jokes was he has his hand down his pants and then tries to shake somebody's hand, and of course they recoil. But then before that, he did it to someone in the audience, which was hysterical. Again, the guy his comic instincts are amazing.
So watch out for that if you go. So it runs for 2 more weeks. So we
Yes.
recommend you get tickets. Be aware of the Adam Eagle splash zone.
Yes, right.
In the in all the front seats around the stage.
Yeah. No, he was fantastic, and I think it's going to sell out.
And I'm going to be going back to it again, actually, on August 16, which I think is closing night. I'm going to the matinee to see Rowan Kapler in that role. Rowan, if you're listening, you have some big shoes to fill.
That's right.
Hombre. Are you ready to throw yourselves around like that? Are you ready to throw yourself out of a wheelchair and onto a stage?
That was a good fall.
I believe in you, Rowan. I love you, Rowan.
He can do it. So John Merritt and Adam Eagle played the two con men,
Yes.
the grifters.
Yes.
And Christine doesn't really show up until the second act, does she?
Yeah. We spent at first, I was confused because I had heard that Sarah Daniels was the lead, and she kept not showing up. But yeah, Sarah Daniels was the female lead, and then they had a wonderful ensemble.
They had a great ensemble.
Yeah.
Well, so early on, there was 2 women in the first act that I thought, oh, this is the lead. Oh,
Yeah.
this is the lead.
Yeah.
So Tracy Trotter came out as Muriel,
Yes.
and it turns out she is the comic lead for the women.
Yes.
And was fantastic and has a great voice and was able to show off the high kicks occasionally.
She was really good in Pippin. She was Charlemagne's wife. And I hadn't seen her act before, and I was like, oh my gosh, this lady.
Yeah. No, she's very talented. And then the second woman would be Maddie Atwood.
Yes.
Comes on and is gone, and then
Comes on with a gun.
comes on with a gun and a pipe. Actually, she comes on as Popeye in the second act.
Yes. With Vicky Michaels as
Yes.
a woman who walks across stage.
Yes.
She walked across that stage. So good.
She's good. So, but those were the first 2, and then Sarah comes up as Christine,
Mhm.
and it turns out that that is the main female role.
Yes.
But it did take a while to come in.
Yeah, kind of like Uncle Max in Sound of Music, right? Where he only shows up like an hour into the show.
That's true.
They have to get a lot out of the way first. So yeah that's a character.
Mm-hmm. And so Tracy was paired with Matthew Pippin, who was the French.
He was the police chief. He's the accomplice. He's the accomplice, the assistant.
He was rounding up the usual suspects.
Yeah.
And so, and at the end, of course, they end up spending a lot of time together in the second act.
Yes. Yeah.
And Matthew, of course, is great, and I think he's been in every single
Yeah,
Hot
I
August
think
Nights.
that is his thing. Right.
Yes.
He's been in every single one.
Yeah. The ensemble in this one was super strong with some really, really good actors.
No, they were great. Huge energy, really sharp. You know, they were a pleasure to watch.
Yeah, I know that Haley got a lot of laughs as a ribbon dancer, which is hard. It's hard to do.
Yeah, her and Katie Ringley
Yeah.
as the featured ribbon dancers.
Yeah. And I'm going to call out Josh Brack just because the guy's got stage presence. When he came out as the mime with the accordion, as he came out with the waiter.
Yeah, the mean French waiter.
The mean French waiter. He was fantastic. And he had a pretty good French accent.
Yeah, he was putting a lot of spin on that ball. He was going for it.
Yeah, no, and we saw him as Mr. Banks in Mary Poppins, and he was great in that. And so I'm kind of enjoying seeing him on stage.
Yeah, maybe we can poach him for something.
That's right. And it was good to see Abby Kimmel.
Yes, Abby.
Who's all grown up now. We've seen her through short shakes and high school shows forever. And she also played Chef Louie.
Oh, yes, you're right. The Wenatchee High School production.
She did.
Yes.
No, she was great. That was very, very early in her career. But no, it was really, really good to see her.
No, she was wonderful. Abby was wonderful. Abby was great.
And a great set. They had a double staircase and a revolve. Yeah. Of course, it was set up in the Hot August Nights black box, so everyone sat on stage.
Yeah, they've always done that.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's such a huge house, and Hot August Nights often chooses more risque shows where you want to be closer to the actors. So no, great choice.
Yeah. Okay, so that was it for the two shows, and great shows. Great shows this week. Okay, so we've got a couple shows in rehearsal right now that we are waiting on. First one is MiniQuest Tavern, which is going to be on August 23rd.
Yes, at the Pack in the same kind of setup as Hot August Nights on the stage.
And then we've got on October 16th is opening night for the Marvelous Wonderettes down at the Riverside Playhouse.
Yes, directed by our own Maddie Atwood.
Directed by Maddie Atwood, who's just finishing up in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
She's got a lot going on.
She's got a lot.
And she's a teacher, so she's about to have even more going on.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't know if people listening to this understand that nearly all of these people have day jobs.
Yes. God bless us. You can't support yourself on regional theater generally. So we are hardworking folks.
We are just doing it for the love of theater.
Love of the game.
Love of the game. Okay, so that is going to bring us up to the next opening nightclub events. We've got meetups for opening nightclub where you can be part of the club.
It's an exclusive and prestigious club.
It is.
And you listening, you are the only one that's being invited.
That's right.
Congratulations.
So the two we have this week, we have 12th Night through the Third Job Theater group.
Yes.
And they'll be doing Shakespeare 12th Night at ICCA, and they open on August 8th.
Yes, running August 8, 9, and 15. And the 15th is at the Grunwald Guild, which is in Plain.
Okay.
So if you don't want to drive half an hour further out, 8th and 9th, those are your days.
And where do you get tickets for 12th Night?
I believe you can buy them on the ICCA website, or you can just buy them at the door.
Okay.
The Meadow can contain a lot of people.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I don't think you need to be too concerned about that.
Okay. So 12th Night at ICCA on August 8th. And then we've got the Short Shakespeareans, also at the Riverside Playhouse through Music Theater, will be opening August 6th.
Yes, and running just that weekend.
Running just that weekend.
August 6th through 9.
If you've never had a chance to see the Short Shakespeareans, I would recommend it. They are children. They're going to be stretched from 2 years old to 18 years old, and they're doing Shakespeare. And they're doing Comedy of Errors this year. I've been involved in the past when my kids were in it. It is a great experience for the kids. Kelly Atwood's been doing it for many years at this point, and she works in musical numbers and dance numbers into Shakespeare. And so she'll have fun with the types of music that gets worked in, and the kids get into it. And it's just a lot of fun, a lot of energy.
Yeah, and some of the people that we actually were just talking about were kind of cultivated in short shakes. Like I know Rowan did short shakes, right?
Abby did short shakes.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
And now we're so pleased with them as performers, right?
Yeah. No, the kids that have gone through short shakes have been the strongest actors. If you look at our published playwrights that are coming out of Wenatchee, they were all short shakes. Our Pulitzer nominees were short Shakespeareans.
Kevin, I didn't do short shake.
Well, you will be an outlier.
Oh, good save.
You're
so diplomatic.
You're a Leavenworth kid. So,
yeah.
No. It's been running for a long time, and you can be there. I'm going to be there on opening night. Skyler, are you going to be there on opening night?
I think I'm going to have a conflict with Twelfth Night on opening night, but I will be. I believe I'm going to the matinee.
Okay. Well, I will be there on opening night, and I'm going to extend this to all of our listeners out the podcast. If you come up to me, and all you have to do is say under your breath, opening night club.
Opening night club.
Before or during intermission, I'll buy you a drink.
Oh.
I'm just saying that. This is me personally.
Wow.
I will make sure you get a drink. Maybe I'll hand out drink tokens.
And the free drink is always the most delicious.
That's right.
Yeah, it gives it a special zest.
Well, it is a nightclub. It's an opening nightclub.
We're not opening a nightclub.
No. It's a club for opening night. We want to make sure everybody realizes how festive opening nightclub can be.
And I will be there for opening night of 12th Night.
I hope you're there.
I hope you buy me a drink at opening night for 12th Night.
Well, Skyler, I will buy you a drink on opening night for 12th Night.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Zip me up.
Okay.
Get things going.
Well, I think that about wraps it up for this week of the Opening Night Club podcast. And just as a reminder, we have 2 opening nights this week. We've got the Short Shakespeareans Comedy of Errors on August 6th. And we have the Third Job Productions version of 12th Night on August 8th. So I hope to see everybody there and go out and see an opening night. Thanks for listening to the Opening Night Club. If you enjoy hearing about local theater events, leave us a comment. And even better, subscribe or follow the show. We're thrilled to have you in the club, and we'll see you at the next opening night.